Welcome to PPTV, and it's your boy, the Black Mamba. Today is October the 4th, episode number 18, and we back for another week of Survivor. And I hope all your teams in Survivor did well last week. Pretty sure they did, unless you just went off the rail and went with some no-name team trying to save some of your good teams. But last week was a pretty chill weekend Survivor, no major upsets, even though the Philadelphia Eagles tried to knock a lot of people out of Survivor. I was on the edge of my seat watching that game thinking like, this can't happen this week. But they were able to pull it out, and we live to see another week, guys. So today, let's jump right into my top 3 Survivor picks of this week. And actually, before we get to my Survivor picks for this week, I want to give you a game that I'm planning to stay away from, and that's this Washington versus Chicago game. Washington, something just tells me they can't be trusted. I mean, it's too much of a risk pick when there are better picks out there this week to go with them. But if you just really feel frisky and you want to kind of get ahead of the game, and you did not pick them like in week 1. I went with them in week 1 with one of my teams. So that kind of makes it easy for me to make the decision not to go with them this week. But if you want to get them this week and save some of those good teams like Philly, like San Francisco, for later on, this may be the week to do it, but I don't want to go all in like that on the Washington Redskins. So with that said, I'm staying away from this game as a Survivor pick. And my number 3 Survivor pick for this week is the Baltimore Ravens. They're playing my Pittsburgh Steelers this week, and just watching my Steelers each week has been very painful. They cannot move the ball at all. I don't know if you put my local junior high football team out there, they may not be able to move the ball on them. They just can't move the ball. Kenny Pickett, he's not playing this week, which that could actually be a blessing in disguise for the offense, having Mitch Trubisky in there. But even last year when Mitch Trubisky was in, he proved that he couldn't move the ball either. He held on to the ball a lot. So I don't have much hope that things are going to change, even if Trubisky is the quarterback this week. I think this will be a low-scoring game, which traditionally it always is. And if it is a low-scoring game, given the troubles we have moving the ball, I think that Baltimore would be able to move the ball at least 1 or 2 times more, or have a 1 or 2 drives more than we are. So with that, I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens as my number 3 Survivor pick. My number 2 Survivor pick is the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins, they got a little dose of humble pie last week after hanging 70 on Denver. And I think this week they get it back together. And it couldn't be a better pick-me-up game than playing the New York Giants. The Giants come off giving up 11 sacks to a Seattle Seahawks team that don't have an elite pass rush. With a plethora of injuries on that team, and Seattle's defense was able to get to the quarterback 11 times and sack him. So with that said, Miami is my number 2 survivor pick of this week. And my number 1 survivor pick of the week is the Detroit Lions. Detroit really has impressed me this year. They've moved to like the top tier of teams in the NFC. I think that they're definitely outside of the top tier teams. I definitely think they're tier 2. They've played impressive ball this whole year on both sides of the ball. And they got Carolina, who had another dismal performance last week. It just looks like Bryce Young isn't coming along as fast as I thought he would. I thought by this time he would be further along and picking up the offense and being able to, spread the ball around, but that hasn't been the case. And I don't think it's going to get any easier this week playing the Detroit Lions. So with that said, Detroit Lions is my number 1 pick, survivor pick of the week. And what makes Detroit such a good survivor pick this week is I think a lot of people will be going with Miami as their pick. So if New York just happens to get their stuff together and play like I thought they were capable of playing this year, that could be a big portion of your pool knocked out. In addition to Miami plays Carolina next week, which would make them a good play for next week instead of this week. So it's like a twofold. You have Detroit, who is some people will be on, but not the majority. I think the majority of the people will be on the Miami Dolphins this week. And with that said, let's go out there and survive another week. And PSA announcement. Spike that like button. Comment, subscribe. And it's your boy, the Black Mamba, out.